I'm Corbitt with DVAuction, here with your feeder flash for Tuesday, August the 12th, brought to you in part by Livestock Risk Services. Many cattle growers and feeders were actually happy that the board crashed on Friday to get their margin back, get some of the margin back that they've been paying in with margin calls. If you had an LRP, you're not getting any margin calls. That may be one way you want to protect yourself, guys. Livestock Risk Services, your LRP specialist. For more information, go to livestockriskservices.com. Also, Beaver County Stockyards in Beaver, Oklahoma, 5,500 head for their cattle auction on Tuesday. They're going to have a heck of a run. They've got about 1,700 calves. Only about 20% of those will be weaned, but most of them ranch raised locally there. They do have 90 head of 3 to 4 weight little calves. They're 90 days weaned to be hard little things. If you're looking for that, they're also going to have 30 to 50 roping calves. So if you're looking for some of those, but most of the calves will be 4 to 6 weight calves. They're going to have about 650 head of yearling heifers. They've got 90 head of 550 pound long time weaned grazing type little yearling heifers. Be a good buy there. Most of them will be 7 to 9 weight heifers for feed there, but a huge run of yearling feeder steers, all of them coming off grass. They've got 2,500 head. The Drummond Ranch is back with nearly 300 8 weight yearling steers there. They're going to have about 950 to 1,000 head of yearling steers just off of 3 deals. So I mean, a lot of single source cattle there. Ratcliffe is going to come in with 6 loads of those 10 weight steers that's been selling so well, and they're always top quality, and the condition on them will be great. On the cow run, they've got about 800 cows coming in. They do have one string of older bred cows, but they were pairs, and they pulled the calves off of them, but they're coming in, and they're Gardner influenced, so the genetics will be excellent if you want to put those cows back to work. But great sale at Beaver County Stockyard coming up on Tuesday. If you want to get in on that, go to DVAuction.com. Also, calm Monday. Thank goodness. Didn't have any wild swings from the cattle futures, but futures seemed pretty satisfied with most of the big sell-off that happened on Friday. Now, we feel like a lot of it had to do with that false alarm, another one of a screwworm in the United States. Turned out to be bogus like all the other ones have. But you know, the futures market anyway seemed pretty happy with taking it down quite a bit, and we saw some modest gains on Monday, but not much, but nothing like what we've been seeing up or down. But feeder cattle in your auctions on Monday were continue to sell briskly, just unbelievable and higher trends, and there's more and more calves coming to market. A higher percentage of them are not weaned. As we get later in the summer towards fall, we're going to see those wide temperature swings, and that's going to pressure all of those lighter weight cattle. So you guys are looking for long time weaned calves. There's not nearly as many of them out there as they would like to buy. Still buying yearlings. May have backed off of them a little, but they're still selling super high. Your slaughter has been running about 9% lower than a year ago, and cow slaughter is lighter than that, lighter than your fed cattle, and these cows are running really tight with the absence of that imported lean meat. And we're coming up on a big hamburger holiday. Labor Day's right around the corner. That's a classic for the hamburgers, but hamburger's going to be a little bit higher, and there's not near as much of that product to go around. Talk about your Punchy Pick of the Month contest. It'll be coming up here before you know it, and we're proud to present that. If you're getting a Punchy Pick when you're out there working your cattle or whatever you're doing, It's as easy as just taking that picture and emailing it to punchy@nationalbeefwire.com. You're automatically entered for the Punchy Pick and for the Kids Corral, which is sponsored by Great Plains Livestock Consulting. Get a $200 gift certificate to Cavender's if you're the winner there. And then, of course, the Punchy Pick of the Month contest sponsored by Beaver County Stockyards in Beaver, Oklahoma. You're going to get a ton of swag from them, ton of swag from National Beef Wire and the Feeder Flash. And of course, then Fairpiece comes in, and then they've got some swag too. But you're going to get a whole case of Fairpiece if you win the Punchy Pick of the Month contest. So be sure and check that out. And just it doesn't cost anything to enter. Just throw a picture in if you think it's one that might win it. Let's talk about your board to open the week on Monday. August live cattle futures were up 52 cents at 233.07. October up 12 cents at 226.10. Your back months were higher too, but just modestly, up 47 cents to up 85. August feeder cattle up 82 cents at 340.22. September was up 22 cents at 340.60. And your back months on feeder cattle futures, I had one month that was down just a nickel, and some of the others up as much as 45 cents. Talk about new crop corn futures. December up 2 1/4 cents at 407 3/4. November beans took a big jump, up 23 3/4 cents, back over $10 at 10.11 1/4. September hard red winter wheat up 3/4 cent at 5.19 a bushel. Talk about your weighted average for last week's negotiated direct fed cattle trade out of your 5-area feeding region. 47,300 head when they rounded them up. And that's really not bad when you figure at the end of the business day on Thursday, we only had 2,200. So they got with it on Friday. That 47,300 compares to 59,300 the previous week and 61,100 the same week a year ago. Your prices for fat steers and heifers out of the 5-area negotiated last week ranged from 233 to 245, which was up 1 to down 2 on your price range there. Your weighted average on live steers in the 5-area was 242.01, down $1.16. It's still the second highest weighted average we've ever had, but it's not the record that we had the previous week. Dress sales had a wide range from 374 to 385. It was less than a load of cattle that brought the 374. So it was mostly 375 to 385 there, but that was mostly $5 to $6 lower. Weighted average on dress steers was 381 1/4, down 243 for the week. As market as a whole, your Southern Plains cattle sold mostly steady to $1 lower at 235. That was about the only price in the Southern Plains. Northern Plains sold steady to 2 lower from 240 to 245, and dress sales steady to $5 lower from 378 to 385. Nationwide, we sold 55,800 negotiated compared to 69,500 the previous week and 76,200 the same week a year ago. Of that 55,800, about 31% or a little over 17,000 were for the 2 to 4 week delivery, and it looks like they're trying to gang up on them, see if they can get a better handle of this this runaway fed cattle market, and it seems like they may have it stunted here for a while. Negotiated grid sales totaled 29,500 last week. Forward contracts 32,000, and one of the lightest formula sales weeks that I remember without being a holiday. Only 199,800 head sold on a formula last week out of your feedlots. Box beef cutout values up again. Gained big time last week and gained start the week this week. Choice cuts 381.52 up 268. Selects for 359.61 up 452. So that's a good gain on Monday for your dressed beef sales. Your slaughter starting out really disappointing, just like last week. Only 103,000 estimated cattle slaughter on Monday. That was just 2,000 better than the week ago Monday, and 9,000 less than the same week a year ago. Talk about what else is going on. The Limousin breed, guys, the industry wants them bigger. They want bigger carcasses, they want bigger frames, they want bigger cattle. Why don't we help them out? Let Limousin and Limflex take you full circle at NALF.org. Talk about your feeder cattle market, brought to you by Specialty Risk Insurance. They are working to protect your livelihood. Your real-time index after your Monday sales had completed sitting at 343.75. That was up 94 cents, compared to last week. So it wasn't a bad day on Monday by any means. Your latest CME cash feeder cattle index jumped a bunch over the weekend there, but sitting at 341.04. Your big sales on Monday, of course, Oklahoma National Stockyards in Oklahoma City, they had 5,600 head, pretty good run for them. Feeder steers, $8 to $12 higher. Heavier feeders weighing over 8 were only steady to $3 lower. Feeder heifers, though, $3 to $8 higher. Steer calves steady to 4 higher, and heifer calves were uneven. Joplin had a big run. Joplin Regional Stockyards had 8,300 head. They just keep having huge sales all the time. Real wide price ranges there. I tell you what, the market reporter there is not as conservative as I would like, but and I wish he would explain some of those wide ranges whenever he has them. But called the feeder steers $2 to $7 higher. Feeder heifers $8 to $20 higher. Of course, we had heifers like we'd never had there. Steer calves $3 to $18 higher, and heifer calves steady to $6 higher. So the market was extremely higher there at Joplin Regional Stockyards. They were your Superior Steel Sales, home of Superior Standard cattle equipment. Stick out sale of the day. You look at this automated market report through Cattle Market Central and look at your best tested weights there out of JRS. They had 301 head of 4-weight steer calves. They averaged 451 at 435.02. 736 head of the 5-weight steers averaged 557 at 399.12. There were 728 head of 6-weight steers. They averaged 654 at 384.13. 591 head of the 7-weight steers averaged right at 750 pounds at 350.60. And 1,836 head of 8-weight feeder steers at Joplin Regional Stockyards averaged 851 with a weighted average price of 332.48. Look at some of the heifers. 499 head of 5-weight heifers averaged 540 pounds at 361.92. There were 436 head of the 6-weight heifers. They averaged 640 at 349.05. 1,052 head of 7-weight heifers in Joplin averaged 751 at 328.10. And 1,129 head of the 8-weight feeder steers at JRS had an average weight of 817 and a weighted average price of 329.71. Now the stick out deal in Joplin on Monday was a monster string of really nice heifers that come back in off the blue stem grass there. And boy, the quality on them was excellent, and they just weighed them before they got them all rounded up. They had 719 head in one lot. They averaged 811 pounds with a price of $334, and they were all straight blacks. Guys, they had a few loads off the same consignment. In addition to that, they were black baldies, or black motley faces mostly, and then they had some solid red heifers off of it, same good quality, same coming on off the grass there. And those black motts and the reds sold for replacements. So that was pretty good. And they were a pinch higher, of course, like most of your colored cattle are when they split them up off the blacks. But let's look at some of your individual quotes from all around the circuit there. Algona Livestock in Algona, Iowa sold 53 steers, weighed 756 at 357.75. Aberdeen, South Dakota, Aberdeen livestock sales there had 70 head of 812 pound steers. They bring 346. That's the most impressive quote that I saw on Monday. And your Macrocin, no BS, top quote for the day, come out of Central Ozark Stockyards near Ava, Missouri. Now that's down there in the Ozarks there, guys. And they sold 66 steers, weighed 629 for $413. And that's your feeder flash for Tuesday.